Hey family, it's Tasha MAMABEAR Prepping. You already know what time it is. Get your coffee, baby, pull up. Let's talk about it. We're just going to talk today. We're just going to talk openly about a thought process I'm going to put on you right now. And I want you to sit down and think about it for yourself and what that looks like for yourself. You know, we have all these videos out here, right, that are, using clickbait, scary, fearful clickbait. And I've been accused of doing the same exact thing. But I would hope that I'm actually talking about what I said on my thumbnails, you guys, and that I'm not causing fear in you. But that we are being calm and we are sitting down and making rational decisions and planning and making emergency plans on different things that could happen with you and your family. And so today we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, the thing that people either want to talk about all day or they don't want to talk about at all. Now, many of you have planned for this, have planned for a nuclear exchange, have planned for the chance that happens, and you are making it, right? You made it. You weren't in the blast zone. You weren't in the immediate radiation zone. You made it in that sense. Okay. But what's next? And I would hate to think that families make it, okay, in the sense of you are outside of that enough that now you need to worry about fallout. But one, you have no idea what to expect. You have no idea when it's coming. You have no idea what needs to be done in your house. You have no idea how to protect your family further. You guys made it, and now you don't have a clue of how to keep them safe, okay? And that's a scary thought. You're going to have a lot of people that are not going to be in the immediate blast zone, that are not going to be part of it, but are going to immediately be affected, whether that's all their windows get blown out of their house. Maybe they're farther out from that. Maybe they're 2 states away, but you still need to prepare. Okay. Weather patterns take radiation clouds and radiation and take that with the clouds, with the weather. Okay. And so ideally something can happen in a state. There could be people in another part of that state that actually make it. And then 2, 3, 4, 5 states away could be affected by that fallout. Okay. So the name of this thumbnail, was you have 30 minutes, right? What would you do if you make it through something like that? You then you either know what happened, you saw what happened from afar, you maybe got a text message or some kind of alert, okay? Maybe your internet's up, maybe it's not. Maybe the radio's telling you something, but somehow you know that something has happened, okay? And you need to prepare as if you have 30 minutes for fallout, okay? Because that's the soonest. It's people that are the closest that could potentially be having to deal with fallout the soonest is within 30 minutes. That poof from that blast starts to come down and literal radiation is raining down, okay? Some folks aren't even going to know. They're just going to be like, oh, it's like a fire. It's just ash. It's just fine. No, it's radioactive ash, okay? That is killing you, okay? You get that on your skin. You breathe it in, any of that stuff. And radiation can get you outside of just the heavy, you can see with your eyes, ash falling down, okay? Radiation, you can't necessarily see, okay? So 30 minutes. Have you thought about 30 minutes? What has to, for example, come into your home? We started thinking, and this was a scary thought. I'm somebody who prepares. I have all the things, right? And we started thinking, okay, we need to really think. The whole family, we were all discussing this together. We have 30 minutes, what needs to come in and what needs to start being done, right? And of course, everybody was like, okay, we got to start sealing off the windows. We got to start doing the wood, the plastic, yada, 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 right? But I was like, what about all the stuff we want in the house that is not in the house? Like animals, any animals that stay outside, any livestock that's outside that you have. We have chickens. We had to think about, do we have cages? Do we have movement pieces to be able to collect animals and then collect the animals and hold them in some sort of cage or whatever, so that they're in the house and kept so that you can continue to move forward with putting stuff up, and getting the remainder of the stuff that has to come in the house, right? Like, what else has to come in the house? I was like, man, I got water out there. Can I make space in the house for that water? There's food out there. There's MREs out there. I'm like, okay, can I make room in the house for this stuff? So there's some certain stuff, right? Some stuff's going to be a loss, but there's certain stuff that I was like, well, I would actually like that in the house, not outside of the house. Do I have inside the house enough stuff for, the animals, right? If I bring the animals in, where is the extra food? Where do I keep extra stuff in totes? It's in the garage. So now it becomes, okay, what can I get in the house now, right? And prepped now for me and my family, to take care of them. Maybe for you, it's not that situation at all. You only have your house, right? Or you have a garage, but it's attached to the house, so you're okay. But maybe it's just the sense of you need to think through the steps like that and think through, okay, what, if anything, is outside that would need to come in, right? Maybe it's plants in planters. Ideally, you don't want to bring plants in because there's bugs and gnats that you introduce into your ecosystem in your home, right? Which could be nasty, but there's ways to rectify that, to remedy that. And that's not always the case also, right? But maybe it's bringing as many plants as you can into the garage area, right? Because anything outside is going to be a done deal, right? So what is it that you need to get? Maybe you have, extra feed or whatever in a different location, in a shed or somewhere else, barrels next to the chicken coop or in a little shed area next to that, bringing that stuff in. Just really, the thought process is kind of scary and daunting to think that this would ever happen, but we've never been closer to a nuclear exchange. And every single day, things are happening that, from my viewpoint, not from other people's viewpoint. See, we got to get done. You got to be done with just jumping on the wagon of what other people think. Oh, other people think we have a certain amount of time frame, or other people think this is going to happen, or other people think that's going to happen. You need to make moves and do things for what you as an individual person or as a family unit decide are the things that you need to concentrate on, or the things that you think are going to go down. The things I see with my eyes, okay? We're getting closer and closer to being in this for real. And when I say for real, I'm talking about real bodies or real troops. We're already in it in a sense. We already have troops in these other countries, okay? This is a big deal. You have whole countries all over the world that are prepping their people for preparedness, for what to do, for fallout, for nuclear is happening, right? To stockpile food and water and supplies, right? People are preparing. They are stockpiling the medicines needed for radiation. Think about your own family and stop listening to other people. Even hubby sometimes is like, look, he's very strong and he's the Lord. He's with the Lord and the Lord's got him and the Lord will take him through it. And I'm 100% with that. The Lord is going to take us through it. But I'm also like, no, but what else can we do to help the situation and not just, oh, the Lord's got us, or if we die, we die. Yeah, I mean, that's, to me, that's almost easier said than done. I mean, the thing is you don't know when he's going to take you. You do not know when your good Lord is going to take you. And so you should be preparing that you're going to make it and you're, need to be prepared. And I don't want to be sitting there like, man, I really wish we would have done that. Or I really wish we would have planned this out or that out or this aspect out. Now, we're not living in fear. We're not living in any kind of like, the sky is falling, but baby, the sky is falling. Listen, I'm telling you, you need to do the things. You need to be ensuring that you understand what happens during fallout. This is not like COVID where you went into your houses and you had other stuff to do. Imagine that and how bored kids were and how bored you were, but you could still go outside. You could go ride some bicycles. You could throw the football around in the backyard. You could do some other stuff around the house. You could barbecue. You could surf the internet all day. You need to understand that if this happens, there's a huge possibility the grid goes down. There is no toilet system, sewer system. There is no water system, right? You don't have this grid system in place. You do not have the internet. Yes, maybe you have downloaded books, downloaded videos, movies. You have, that all this stuff that's downloaded so that even if there's no internet, you have a ton to keep you entertained. That's amazing. Do you have a way to power it? Okay. And think about this. Even all of us fancy people with our solar generators. Okay, you have a solar generator to then, back up that tablet that has all your downloaded books to keep you occupied. What are you doing in a few days when that finally, works its energy down, drains all the, energy out of it, and you can't use it anymore? You're not taking your solar panels out in nuclear fallout to charge. Okay. You're going to have to wait till that clears up. Even if there's an all clear and that cloud of whatever has moved on, we don't necessarily have sun showing still. Okay. It could be still very overcast. We have no idea what is going to happen. And you have no idea how long you're in that house. Ideally you could be in the right situation where the weather patterns take stuff and you don't really get a whole lot, but you need to be careful because weather patterns keep moving. I still have to be careful, even though I'm on the West Coast. Okay, something happens in Seattle. Let's hope those clouds and that weather patterns kind of starts taking it east. Obviously, it's a horrible thing to say, right? But when you're thinking about what will affect you, right? In your area. But I have to worry about anything that happens in Alaska, anything that happens in Hawaii, anything that happens in, Japan. And ideally, the world turns and turns and turns, does it not? It's a full circle effect, okay? So things could be very, very bad, or they could be manageable. Everybody's going to have this is going to look a little different for everybody. Okay. On all different types of levels. And if you haven't done the basic things, have your own medicine. So when you have a headache, have your own respiratory masks, have some bandanas or a bunch of washcloths that you can get wet and put those over your mouth, having goggles, having different gear. Okay. Maybe you have bona fide CBR gear in case you guys are like, you make the decision. You're like, okay, the initial fallout is gone, but we are now going to travel to somewhere that supposedly is safe, or maybe your bug out location is better. But this is the thing. I don't think there's a better situation, unless you're in some sort of blast zone and you made it. You didn't though, because if you made it, you're probably in the radiation area and you're going to die within a month of radiation, acute radiation poisoning. But you make it. I don't know unless you have a magic genie ball that where a safe place to go is. Like if nukes are dropping, if anybody is using that, there's not really a safe place, okay? You literally could be taking your family into danger, to drive through danger, to drive to another place that's going to get hit or has already been hit or whatever the case may be. Your best chance still, if you are not blasted away, is to stay in your area and buckle down where your supplies are. But I can't tell you that because guess what? It looks different for everybody. And who knows? Maybe you are getting very good intel and they are like, look, you made it, but you have to leave this area. This is not safe. You're going to get hit again. You need to go to this area. It's the safest bet. It's the safest whatever. You are going to make that decision. Nobody can tell you what is the best and what's the not even me who just said, yeah, your best bet is to stay home. No, I'm saying really think about what's best for you and your family. Where are your supplies? Where are your materials to bunker in your food, your water, your medicines, the things, right? The tools to rebuild, to clean up. Where is all of that stuff at? Okay. And what makes sense? going into a place that you have no idea what it looks like or what is going to happen there. It's going to be nasty for everybody. That's why people say, you know, it's a life-ending event. It's a world-ending event. It's off the chain. And, you know, from us over here in the United States, this might just be from afar, right? In the sense of this might be tactical nukes being used, and we are literally watching Europe get hit, right? But I tell you what, the minute we get involved with that through NATO, whatever, we're a target now. And so you can expect that we would be next, or we are going to get some of that in some way, some fashion, some form. Okay. And it's not to be scared. This is to empower you to open your mind and you think about it. You think about for your family, how you would engage. You can choose to just say, look, I'm just going to believe that God is going to take me through it. And it is what it is, right? Or you could say, yes, I say that God is going to take me through it, and it is what it is. If he takes me, he takes me. But if I'm left behind, I do not want to be standing there, not understanding what's happening, not knowing what to do. And my children are looking at me, asking you, you know, what do we do? I'm scared, you know, that, you know, and you're sitting there understanding finally what is happening, the magnitude that you didn't prepare, that you have no food in your house, that you have no water stored up, that you have no entertainment, board games, different things for your kids to do, books to read, you know, stuff. You don't have the things, right, to help your quality of life the best you can have in that situation, and the safest that you can have in that situation. If you do not have your hands on different things, apple pectin, you can get it in. It's not just the kind for canning, right? You can get pills, apple pectin. If you do not have your thyroid medicine, right, your ThyroSafe or your Isosat or your potassium iodide, all of that is the same, but just different companies. You need to get that, okay? It's fairly inexpensive, but you need to get that for your family, right? At a minimum, get some apple juice stocked up in your home. Get your plastic for your windows. Get your wood. Think about entertainment. Think about how you would keep yourself warm, okay? Because they say, you know, nuclear winter, if you're in a place where it's just hardcore, right? If they get pummeled, that's a nuclear winter now, is the next thing that happens and develops. And so temperatures are going to plummet. You have to be prepared for that. And when I say plummet, I'm talking about below, okay, below zero, minus conditions, minus 25, minus 50. You're talking about like Alaska, people that live in Alaska, like their winter all the time, okay? So how do you prepare for that? If you have no grid, right? You've got to have warm socks, wool blankets, tons of other blankets, warm jackets, warm sweaters, stuff that's big so you can put on layers and layers, right? Hoodies, earmuffs, all of that stuff. Get you the hand warmers that you can break and put in a thing. Think about how you would keep your family warm, putting up extra blankets on the windows to block that, right? Getting tents and having tents inside your home that you sleep in. You've got to get smart, okay? The people are going to die. And the people that are going to die are the people that wanted to just listen to mainstream and listen and be like, it will never happen. Or it may happen, but now I'm not going to tell you any ways or anything that's going to happen next or anything to do to actually prepare for this. Okay. This is scary thoughts. Nobody wants this to happen. Nobody wants this to happen, right? You know, when we say fearful or fear, I'm not really fearful, but I'm saddened, right? I get emotional when I think of all the people that are not ready and will not be ready for this, and how that mother is going to feel, or that father is going to feel standing there in a moment, and you've made it through something and you do not know what the next step is. You do not know what to do next. And those people are going to make horrible decisions. They're going to be, we got to leave. We got to just get, I don't know where we're going, but we're getting in the car. We're going to turn on the radio and we're going to just leave. There's fallout coming. We're just going to leave. Like, you don't have time to leave with 30 minutes. You do not have time to drive out of that. You have to hunker down and get ready. Okay. and prepare your home the best you can. Get those barriers around you and your family where you guys are going to hang out, okay? And get ready, right? Well, I tell you what, man, it's hard to talk about this stuff, really, especially when it's just all over the internet. It's all over everywhere. Everybody has an opinion. You know, I'm no different than anybody else. I'm just am telling you and expressing my urgency and my concern and my, I guess my empathy for those that will not be ready when this hits. And it's going to hit. That's the thing, is it's going to hit. It's just going to be at what level is it going to hit? You know, is it going to just be, but that's the thing. Once you start it, it's hard to just turn it off. Unless out of pure fear, you know, the enemy backs up, because just out of pure, they're like, okay, we're just kidding. We did it a couple times. We're just kidding. And they wake up and they're just like, okay, no, we're just kidding. We don't want to do this. Right. Which we're so stupid. I mean, who knows what our government would do? Just let people get away with stuff. Like, I could just totally see them dropping some tactical nukes. We do a little back and forth. And then, you know, once NATO engages, you know, some kind of fear, some kind of pullback. And maybe not. I could be 100% wrong. But if it did go that way, I could totally see us just, taking the high ground and just saying, okay, it's okay. You know, we're going to punish you in other ways, but we're not going to do it by retaliating with the same method, you know. And if they don't back down and something happens, well, that means we're toast, you know, and you just have to prepare the best way that you can. That's it, right? Trust in God, pray a lot. And if you're feeling anxiety and you're feeling urgency and you're feeling these things that I'm feeling, right? The heaviness. I'm not really feeling stressed. I'm feeling heaviness. Just heavy. Like I said earlier, almost a saddened state of like what's to come. It's sad. It's sad more than anything to me. What is going to come. And poor Europe is about to really, really feel it. Really, really feel it. Just you have Ukraine really starting to feel it, with lights being turned out, heat being turned off, and winter's really starting to start there. And here in a couple months where it really gets bad, that's going to be, it's going to be detrimental. It's going to be huge. So I hope you guys stay well. I hope you guys are having a good weekend. I'm having a great weekend, actually, even though I just put out this whole video and this whole conversation. Things are well here. Hopefully, actually, next week, I'll be able to bring you my first video of the garden. It's not fully done, but I'm just going to be able to give you an idea, let you show you my layout, kind of show you how I did my shelving, how I did the light system, stuff I've planted already that I'm waiting to pop up. But hopefully next week there'll be some stuff that's actually popping, so you can kind of see the layout and what I've done, and you'll be able to see my microgreens, because I started some microgreens from survival seeds. So I'll be going through that whole thing next week on a video. Not sure what day. Also going to be doing Mira safety. You know, we have gas masks. There's been a link in my description box this whole time. Mira safety is my #1 go-to for all CBR gear, right? So gas masks, biosuits, all of that stuff. Canisters, right? So take a look at that. Take a look at that link. I do get a small commission, but I'm going to bring a video where I'm going to show you the different masks we have, some of the gear that we have, and just talk you through the importance of it. When would you use it? I've been getting some questions lately of people that actually have gear, but don't understand when they should put it on, when they should use it, when should they crack a canister, right? Because that stuff has a time limit once you crack it. So we're going to talk through all of that next week, so that you can understand your timelines, when to employ that stuff, when to use it, some other stuff you can use before that. If maybe it's, you're just trying to take precautions, some other stuff that could be helpful in your home, as well as masks and staying safe and protecting your body parts, your skin, your orifices, different things like that. Okay. So stay well. Blessings from my bear cave to yours. You guys have a great rest of the weekend. Bye.